Today, World War I never happened. It's 1931, and we're playing as the German Empire led by Kaiser Wilhelm II. I personally find it a little funny that in this mod, Germany is better off than in Kaiserreich, probably where they won World War I. We have a good faction and okay economy. Also, France is very communist and very alone in the world. Russia will probably explode, I would bet on it, and the US is praying to their ANCAP gods as Herbert Hoover dances on the ashes of Wall Street. I guess according to the lore, the US was forced outside of their isolationism, so they might be a problem, or maybe just a good problem that randomly declares on us, gets blown up by the Imperial German Navy, and then gets annexed into the Kaiserreich like a good silly baka. Regardless, I'm sure our adventure today will be great. We have Wonder Waffles after all, and that's the one thing the pathetic paradox artificial intelligence can't take away from us. Though I've heard this mod improves AI to some extent, so maybe we'll be fighting half-decent divisions instead of utter garbage. Quite the interesting prospect. I look forward to see if their exploits will be successful. Also, I'd really love to hear the story about how the Chinese Empire got into the Reichspakt. That's gotta be a good one. And damn, the Americans have Chiang Kai-shek on their side, so I'm already losing some hope here, but the situation is still better than Kaiserreich from my analysis. Yeah, like we start off only using 15% consumer goods, which is excellent. That's a very good amount of consumer good usage. Tech tree is also very purple and green. I guess the green is normal, kind of. The purple is new, and we start off with a whopping 72 divisions, which is it's a little much. I don't think it's quite that necessary. Maybe I don't know why we have such a large fielded army. It would have probably been better to have a smaller army and focus on industry, but we're starting in 31, so I shouldn't trouble myself with complaining about what the made up lore thing did before we did anything. I know there's a republic and monarchist path in Spain too, so they might also still have a civil war. It's anybody's guess. It's quite a common HOI4 meme to have every single mod have a Spanish civil war, so it wouldn't be surprising. Also, it is October, aka Spooky Month, so my Discord server is hosting a spooky meme contest. I'll leave a link to that in the description where you can join the meme competition and submit a spooky meme. Or if you are interested in Hearts of Iron 4 modding, I'm also hosting a spooky mod competition where all you have to do is use this skeleton leader portrait in any sort of mod you want. I'll leave a link to the HOI4 modding competition server in the description too, if you're interested in that. But anyways, and I guess World War I never happened, but we did fight a war against France and we won. So I guess that explains some of our territorial gains and why we're doing decently. And we're forced to do our army focus tree because our political focus tree is locked and all other focus trees are locked behind our political focus tree, so we will reform the army while we wait for something to happen so that we can do politics. And for our army focus, we will focus naturally on tanks and stuff. If the AI is able to make good divisions, it'll be much more important that we make good tanks, because making meta infantry is good, but its factor of being overpowered is diminished if the AI can also make meta infantry, so we shall make very, very overpowered Chad tanks, you may say. And that should be enough to win us any war against the silly AI. We will now form an intelligence agency. This will be very important, as intelligence agencies are very overpowered and I always forget to use them because I'm kind of stupid. And sometimes new mods don't implement them correctly so you can break the game, but I won't break the game, don't worry. Even if it's possible, I'm not gonna break the game. This is cool. For some reason, researching a tank that's 1.8 years ahead of time only takes 264 days. That has to be wrong, right? And the French Prime Minister has been assassinated, which, considering they're our rival, may be a good thing, but that means they might step away from communism potentially, which could in turn lead to them having real allies in the world, and that is not a good thing. So, this is complicated. We offer our condolences. I'm extremely disappointed that Himmler is a secret police chief and not a chicken farmer. And there's the Spanish Civil War. It looks very historical, kind of. Except you have the Kingdom of Spain instead of Franco. Also, Austria-Hungary has the best of leaders everywhere. We have Karl in charge of Austria. You have Horthy over Hungary. They're pretty small, though. Near minimum-sized Austria-Hungary. Also, Turkey does not exist. You have Greece, you have the Free City of Constantinople, and then you have the Protectorate of Anatolia, which is a protectorate of the Russian Empire. Sorry to all the Turkish viewers for having to lay your eyes on this mod. And American agriculture has failed, and France has a new prime minister. They're still communist though, so hopefully they won't have any friends. And Trieste has broken free from Austria and is now guaranteed by Italy, and there's crisis spreading to our country, so maybe we are going to be just as bad as Kaiserreich. Okay, now there's a crisis, an economic crisis in Germany. At least we can send some volunteers to Spain to help the monarchists win there. That's at least kind of wholesome. The gay king of Italy. Oh, okay. And anarchy in the streets. Okay, never mind. This is probably worse than Kaiserreich. Yeah. Oh well. And the French government collapsed. Oh, and the Kaiser is on a holiday trip. Perfect timing. That's really bad. But now we have Konrad as the de facto leader of the German Empire. The military now forced Wilhelm II to abdicate. That's kind of crazy, but then, okay, now Wilhelm III leads the country. See, this is the good path, because this is the path where we get the Wonder Waffles, and money, and private enterprises are the foundation of our economy. And the Chancellor rules, the Kaiser applauds happily. Also, the Mustache Man apparently can become the leader of Austria. And this is really annoying, the tripartite. That ruins my plans for European domination. I could probably still beat them. Maybe if I make really good tanks, I can beat them. Yeah, I guess if this is to be a good story, we have to have a strong enemy to face off against. I didn't want to hurt Karl or Horthy, but if they oppose me, I feel like my hand may be forced here a little bit. And the Tsarevich Alexei has had an accident. Yeah, Tabaritsky would not be very happy about that. Anyways, Poles want a colonial empire. Okay, this mod gets more interesting with every event. What colonial empire do the Poles want? Nice, now we have negative 19% consumer goods. The people need nothing from us. We have completed the main part of our political focus tree, so now we can do whatever focus path we want. And we'll now annex Luxembourg and then begin the search for new allies to help us, or more so, new allies to distract the enemy divisions while we use our tanks to break through their lines. Oh, and we have a decision to get a 5th research slot. Getting a free one just because you have enough stability in factories is kind of crazy. And the Netherlands refused to join the Reichspakt, so now we are going to invade them. Most importantly, we now have the German East Indies, so we have infinite rubber. Now we don't have to invest in refineries or anything at all. And now we can embrace the power of friendship and ask people to be our friends, like Norway and the Netherlands, who we annexed. And Brazil has randomly decided to join us, which is nice. We didn't have a decision to invite them or anything, but them joining is really good because now we pretty much own all of South America. Well, we don't own it. They're just willing members of the Reichspact, willing to fight for the glory of their Kaiser. I really don't know why they all like Germany so much down there, but something good must be in the water. And now that we have 150 factories and 2 million manpower in the field, we can do unsolved cases, get a nice offensive bonus for 3 years, and then we can start declaring on people. First, we'll attack the Triumvirate. They are kind of strong, but right now is our only real opportunity to defeat them. Austro-Hungarian Empire has more civs than us and a lot of mills, but if we strike right now, we should be able to take them all out, primarily because none of them have really been building tanks, where we have been building tanks for a long time and have, I think, 8 40-width mediums, which is probably enough 40-width mediums to take all of them out. If we capitulate France, then go into Italy, and then finally defeat Austria, because these are 40-width medium mechanized. So this is the best division in the game, considering they don't have tanks themselves. Okay, let's invade. Let's see how good these tanks are, and see how good the Austrians are. That their lines are rather thin, but they might not join the war. This mod makes France the exact opposite of vanilla. Instead of taking 2 victory points and they capitulate, you have to take all of them besides 2. That was kind of terrible. They lost a lot though. We lost a considerable amount, but we didn't get a single tank encircled, and we made 5 new tanks during the war. We'll have 4 new tanks come out soon. Russia is now helping us, but they aren't at war with Austria, so they aren't really doing anything. Oh well, I would prefer if they don't do anything, so then we can take everything in the war, in the peace deal. Oh, and there we go. They've capitulated, and we have a lot more war score than number 2, the Russian Empire, so I think we will be able to do whatever we want with this triumvirate thing. Perfect. This is a great world. Yeah, everything's been rebalanced, and now I feel like if we decided to fight Russia, it would be a fair battle now, maybe. They still have more factories than we do, even though we own all of France. Anyways, this is a really good mod. I would definitely recommend playing it. It's one of the best mods I've played in a while. And I guess I will see you all next time.